Hi, this is Dale. Welcome to the first of my tutorials, Excel tutorials for statistics for business and econ. So we're going to start right at the top here. We've got, with the Excel screen, the title bar, this top row here. And this part over on the left is called the Quick Access Toolbar. So for instance, if you want to save or undo something, you can do that. Print previews right here. I've happened to launch print. I like to have those available up there. And then it tells the name of the program here, Microsoft Excel. And book 1 is what you get the first time you open Excel. So before I've saved the file as something else, it'll just say book 1 there. And then when we go over to the right side, this would be to minimize, this would be to maximize, or if it was already maximized, back to restore the original size, and then close. And then this second row, we get mainly the tabs, but we also have the file menu here. So if I click on File, see that I have the option to save, save as, open a file, close a file, look at recent files that I've had open, start a new file, print, help, those kinds of things. Click again, it toggles off, and then I get a series of tabs. There's Home and Insert, Page Layout, Formulas, Data, Review, and View. Now for Home, since we're here, we'll take a look at that and show you some of the options available. The first set of icons is called the Clipboard group. So here you've got the options to cut, to copy, to paste. Then you get the font group. You're able to select your font, hit the arrow here, and you'll have all sorts of font selections available. So I'll just open that up. You can see, and again I can scroll down here. All kinds of options available. Now you don't have to get too fancy in this course with that. Again, we're mainly going to use it to do some statistical calculations, maybe a little bit of graphing next week, but primarily a lot of calculations. And then you've got font size as well, so lots of options there. You can make it larger, smaller, as far as increase or decrease the font size, bold, italics, underline. In here you can put borders around certain cells. Again, you may find that helpful for certain things, or if you wanted to change the color behind something, you could put a color in there, or change the color of the font. Again, those are all options, and you won't necessarily have to do a lot of that in this course, but I'm kind of giving you the big overview. Different things for alignment here, left align, if you want something in a cell centered, or right align, you have those options. This group, the number group, options there if you want dollar signs to appear, the accounting format in a particular cell, which I'll explain, or percents, increase or decrease, the decimals, some other styles here that can be helpful to make your spreadsheets look good, but we won't necessarily use them in here. And then for inserting or deleting rows or columns, formatting, those kinds of things. Over here in the last group, the editing, this auto sum button is going to be one that will be important as we go through, as you learn to use Excel. It can really make you more productive. And then we get down to this next line, which would be considered the formula bar, this whole area here. So the first part of the formula bar would be the name box. So right now, maybe I should back up a step and just say that all of the columns in Excel are labeled with a letter, and the rows are labeled with a number. So right now I'm in cell A1, and you can see up in the name box that that's what appears there. If I click here on E8, notice that the E and the 8 are highlighted, so it's easier to read to know what cell you're in, but it also shows up in the name box, so you're not left wondering what cell. And if you click on the arrow, if you had cells in there, you could just go to that cell there. Here's the insert function button. So again, the statistical calculations that we'll be making will be functions, which I'll explain in a later video, but that'll be a helpful button. And then right here is considered the formula box. So we'll show you in the next video how to enter formulas to use it to do calculations. And then down here at the bottom, you've got tabs. In this case, I've already renamed this first tab Stats 2220. When they come in on a brand new worksheet, the default name is Sheet 1. So you got Sheet 1 and Sheet 2. Now all of the everything in the Excel file is called the workbook, and then these individual sheets are called worksheets. And again, the default name is Sheet 1, Sheet 2, Sheet 3. If you wanted to add an additional sheet, you can click right here and it would be Sheet 4. If you go back here and decide I would really like to name this something a little more meaningful, you double click on it, it highlights the words, and you could say Stats 2220, if you really want to get fancy, hyphen section 00, and hit enter, and then it goes right back up into the cell that you were in before that. And with spreadsheets, again, if something gets too big, you can scroll horizontally or vertically depending on what you need to do. So that kind of gives you a basic look at some of the things available in the spreadsheet. In addition to the Home tab, though, I'll just show you a couple of the other tabs. The Insert tab, so you can put in a picture or clip art, sometimes a screenshot if you want to use that. Take a picture of some other program and insert it. We'll be looking next week at graphical representations of statistical data. So we should be using some of these, and I'll show you that in a video. But a column chart, a bar chart, a pie chart, a line chart, a scatter plot, other kinds of options available there. So lots of interesting things there. In terms of page layout, you can choose themes, which is something new as of Excel 2007. This happens to be Excel 2010 that I'm using. You've got changes of color, so all of these colors, and again you can see that each one has a list of colors, so there's complementary colors to make your spreadsheets look better. Excuse me, get back there. Font sets and different things like that. This second group is the page setup. So you can set the margins here, open it up. The default for Excel is 3/4 of an inch on the top and the bottom, and 0.7 on the left and right, with 0.3 for the header and footer. You can make that wide, narrow, or do some kind of custom. Then you have orientation, portrait, which is just like the standard sheet of paper ups with that way, or landscape, you kind of turn it on your side. You can resize different kinds of papers or envelopes, those kinds of things. So those are all available. The next tab is formulas. Again, you can see all of the functions available here. So there's financial, the ones you've recently used, math and trig, and then under more functions you get into statistical functions, and you can see there that there's a whole host of functions. Now we're not going to use a fraction of the statistical functions available here. And again, my goal is not to make you into an expert with Excel by any means, but it certainly is more convenient and helpful to learn how to use the basics of Excel to do these calculations, as opposed to having to do them all by hand. So I think that kind of gives you a brief overview of Excel. So I'll stop this first video here, and I'll come back and the second one show you how to actually do some calculations in Excel. So see you in a little bit.